What's about to happen today, in the next coming weeks, months, and years? This right here will be found nowhere else, and I'm gonna get you straight into it. This is the biggest red major world alert and inside footage of HAARP and what's being fired at the sun you'll find nowhere else, and the permanent damage happening, taking place as we speak.
Hi, I'm Brady Dennis. I'm a national environmental reporter for the Washington Post, and right now I am basically standing in the middle of the Mississippi River here. And as you can tell behind me, the river is flowing, but it is historically low, to the point that people are out here at sunset walking and hunting for fossils and other rocks, almost as if this were a desert rather than one of the most formidable rivers in America.
But the bird is walking around, he's trying to get his head right, and it's just like not getting his head right, and he's trying to, then next thing you know, the bird ducks his head under his butt. Tucks his head under his butt. It just can't even pick his head up now. And they're like, well, this is going to hit the supply chain. And there's more increasing birds now like this in the UK. And this spreads more in the cold season. So this is where it all begins to get really extremely wild. No wonder the birds been acting so strange.
What the hell is going on? The crows are attacking my car. Seriously, do you hear them up there? Oh my God, look at Brave, they're attacking the truck. Holy shit.
We are still in the midst of the HAARP experiments, and they're going to be heating the sky. And we've got exclusive footage on the ground of an employee right now driving up to HAARP, literally, and showing you what it looks like on the ground here. These are images that you will find nowhere else, but we also will show you the plasma. Get ready to see that. The heating effects in the ionosphere after 2 minutes of heat. 2 minutes. The beam literally reflected the waves, and it was showing you how powerful that it literally is. The optical emissions is the result of HAARP busting up the sky. That was the last day of the employee, so we will get no more underground footage. And huge strikes have been hitting the ocean during these experiments, and something. The sun is straight up ugly on this one. Ugly like pugly. The one you're gonna see up right now is basically the sun opening up, and it's supposed to be something hitting us. Now these are a couple holes in the sun, and the face looks like a smile. But NASA is saying that this cheerful face, these 3 dots form an outline, which are basically a complicated stream of solar wind coming at us, coming tomorrow. And October 28th is when it's gonna happen. So the thing is, I found out new information that is being talked about nowhere. Now, it was brought up on Gina's channel, and I've gotten information in that now they're saying that missiles are being fired at the sun, and this is happening on a normal basis. When I sent the message to Israeli News Live about this is exactly what he said. You can see exactly on the top of the screen that apparently this is the norm, where they're shooting missiles at the sun. We'll have more information coming about this craziness. What is so mysterious that we can't know about these cubes? They look like they pull energy from the sun. Maybe some type of being, some type of solar deities. We don't know at this point.
What can you say about the other characteristics of these objects, like shape, size, texture, luminosity? How else do you describe object? Is there something that could be said? So you said like this detect on radar, step 1. Now you have FLIR images that can give you a sense that it's actually a physical object. What else can be said about those physical objects?
So eventually someone did see one with their own eyeballs, multiple people, and they saw it in a kind of somewhat interesting way. The object presented itself at the exact altitude and geographic location of the entry points into our working areas. So we enter at a very specific point at a certain altitude, and people leave the areas at the same point at a lower altitude. Probably one of the busiest pieces of sky on the eastern seaboard. So 2 jets from my squadron went out and they went flying and they entered the area and one of these objects went right between the aircraft.
So they're flying in formation and the object went between the aircraft.
They went between the object, I think. I don't think that the object was moving. I don't think it aggressively went at them. I think it was located still there and then they flew through it. But they didn't have it on their radar. And that would, I think the radar might have been malfunctioning. I don't know that for sure. I would like to look into it, but my supposition is that if their radar was malfunctioning, it would make sense that they wouldn't avoid the object that was there because they knew these were physical at that point. And we would go up to these objects all the time and try to see them. We couldn't see them, and we didn't know what it was. Were they just not there and were being fooled? Was something happening? Were they moving, dropping altitude the last minute? You know, we're going by pretty quick, so it's difficult to tell. But perhaps if his radar wasn't working, it wasn't receiving energy from the jet. And the jet, of course, didn't know that it was there. And so whatever the case was, they flew right by and they described it just as a dark gray or black cube inside a clear translucent sphere. And the apexes of the cube were touching the inside of that sphere.
That's an image that's haunting. So what did they think it is? What did they think at that moment? Any kind of other description they've had of it in terms of the intuition from a pilot's perspective. You know, you have to kind of identify what a thing is.
To answer the first part, they actually canceled the flight and came back because they were, you know, it's like if there's one of these out here and we're almost hit. And this kind of was one of those kind of slight watershed moments where we all were kind of like, all right, like this is a serious deal now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if we're going to hit one of these things, then we need to take care of the situation. And that's actually when we started submitting hazard reports or HAZREPs to the Naval Aviation Safety kind of communication network. And it's not like a big proactive thing where people are going to go investigate. It's more of a data collection mechanism. So it wasn't a mechanism that would result in action being taken, but we were hoping to at least get the message out to whomever was maybe running a classified program that we were not aware of or something like that, that, hey, like you could kill somebody here. Like you've grown too big for your britches here. Take a step back. So that was our concern at that point. That's kind of where we were thinking this was going.
But something is coming towards Earth before 2030. That is the projected system, the physicists say, so that makes me believe it'll be coming a little bit early. Now, I know you haven't heard this before, but when people say the military has went to the moon, they probably only have been to the artificial moon. And that's where they're setting up base at, I believe. But these artificial moons are said to illuminate the sky 8 times brighter. This exclusive footage was put out 2 weeks ago of 2 moons, looks like, and one of them is brighter. We apparently have the artificial moon projecting on us, and since this light is much brighter than the actual moon, we're about to tell you the effects that follows that are pretty much damaging. Since we're now being hit with an artificial moon, I told you it can levitate objects, because I told you yesterday that the artificial moon is now being confirmed. It levitated a frog, and so the whole thing about making humans get a part of this whole magnetic agenda with the nano and everything else, we're now about to break down where this phase is going to go, and this is critical evidence that you need to know because it's going to be used, probably in my opinion, for a pre-staging event that is going to be a larger agenda against all of us, which magnetism is also something that you have to worry about. But however, the bigger thing you have to worry about is that these studies are coming out now, and also this is what's going on in the bigger aspects of reality. This artificial moon is changing what we know of, that is the existence of all of us.
Oh, it's in the cloud. Oh, hell no. That's crazy. Flares, maybe?
Maybe.
No, they're...
A lot of people looking like
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Oh, what?
Everything all over this channel has been hidden. It's up to you to see it. And all you have to do is click on the channel icon and find out what the heck is happening and why they're hiding.